So, James, Kings Lynn is in your constituency. How much of a problem do you think this is?
Well, I want to see a variety in our high street of different shops and venues. One of the biggest barriers to that actually is the doubling of business rates we've seen under this Chancellor, which makes it a lot harder for new independent businesses to set up. But in terms of these gaming venues particularly, I want to see local authorities given powers to look at the cumulative impact. We put that in our white paper on gambling before the election. We were ready to legislate. Disappointing the Prime Minister hasn't acted yet, because there is a groundswell from local authorities, including mine, to give them the power to be able to control and shape the high street more.
OK, Jess, people watching this going, oh, for goodness sake, you know, this was never a thing when I was growing up. You know, this is weak parenting. Get the kids to school. That's where they need to be.
Well, there will be children who have specialist need, who do need support, but the best place for most children is going to be in a mainstream school that's an inclusive setting. Every day they're not in school is a day that's going to damage their future earning.
So how do you get them? How do you help and support parents? How do you future-proof our
Every
schools?
school I go to, the first thing I ask them about is attendance and what they're doing to improve it. And Jess has talked about some of the techniques that schools use. And quite often it's building a rapport with the parents who've lost trust in the school, going out to see them in their own home, going to see the child and encourage them to come back in, and that does prove to be effective. But schools can only do so much. Parents have a responsibility here. They have a legal duty to make sure their children are attending school. So ultimately, in the final scenario, fines and penalties do need to be part of the toolbook, but it should be working with parents much more and with the children first. Yeah. Got a bit of previous with flags. I called out the Director General of the BBC
yes, you did.
for not featuring the Union flag in their annual report and accounts. And I got some flack online for people who don't like our flag.
What about
flags
flying
I'm proud of our flags, so I'd encourage people to fly their flags. I was at Battle of Britain 85th commemoration on Monday. Those people served for our country, for our flag. We should be proud of it. We shouldn't be putting it away.
Do you have sympathy with people like Chris and Sue and many of the other people that emailed me saying, actually, the way this is being done in some places, in some instances, feels divisive, feels unwelcoming and doesn't feel patriotic? Do you have any sympathy for that?
Well, I don't really recognise that. I think our country is welcoming, and a flag is a symbol of our country and of our values and what we represent.
All right. Well, James?
Well, I've gone for a bit of an explosion because politically this week the Prime Minister had to sack the guy he handpicked to be our ambassador to America because of his links to a convicted paedophile. And that's a week after the Deputy Prime Minister had to resign for breaking the ministerial code. So those were two big political bangs in the last week.